What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back, and we are here for the 2023 Arnold Classic South America, or Arnold Classic Brazil, and we have some updates for you guys. It has gone live now. It is a little bit late, close to an hour, but we are here. We are live for the 2023 Arnold Classic Brazil, and on stage right now you are seeing Wellington. Let me get his last name right so I don't get this one wrong. I'll just go to the competitors list, which I'll actually pull up on the screen in just a second. Vitor Both's actually on the stage right now of the 2023 Arnold Classic Brazil, but this is Wellington, and his last name is, well, it's actually changed on this competitors list. It says Wellington Fernando Baptista. I actually thought it was a different last name, to be honest. I actually announced it as a different last name according to his Instagram page, but on the competitors list, that is his name. So we're going to go by that. And Vitor Both is looking damn good on stage right now, which is what I'm watching. I'll get off that so you guys can see something a bit more interesting than my end screen there when I'm recording. And that's Wellington on stage there. But Vitor Both is looking very, very good. Super impressed. But will it be enough to beat Behrooz Tabani? I'm not so sure. And I'm going to get a short clip of Vitor Both because he looks absolutely sensational. And he's definitely going to be a contender in this show. But we'll have to wait and see if that's going to be enough. Now, this is our first competitor. This is the guy that Martin Fitzwater actually picked as a guy that could do damage. Now, coming on stage right now is another guy, and his name is Slavoj Bednar. Oh, no, he's already gone. It's Alan Bonadiman from Brazil. He looks pretty damn good, actually. He's got some good legs. I don't think he'll be enough to do damage in this lineup. I'll concentrate on getting the main top guys, but he's conditioned. He's done his work for sure, and he's definitely going to be getting a massive ovation there. Sorry, guys, I'll get that off the screen view there. And get in the comments. Let me know your opinions of the show. I'll bring up a short clip of Vitor Both. Actually, Alan looks pretty damn good, this guy. It's on stage now. Not on stage on your screen, but on stage at the 2023 Arnold Classic Brazil. He actually looked pretty damn good. I didn't get a clip of him, but I'll get some comparisons for you guys, and you'll be able to see what he's looking like as well. I'll go back to Wellington for now, and you're going to get a video of Vitor Both in just a moment. So stay tuned, guys. That is coming up very, very soon as I will get this up. Let me know your opinion. And shout out to you guys getting comments already as well. I'm going to share the video of Vitor Both. Just give me one moment, guys. Oops, it's probably not the right one. It's taking a second just to upload to that. Video file, here we go. So this should be Vitor Both coming up on the screen right now for you guys. Hopefully it's coming through okay quality for you as well. It's a little bit laggy on my end. Hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. I think there's a bit of audio to that. We'll get rid of that. So let me know your opinion. Vitor Both is looking damn good. You can see him there. He looks really, really thick. Really, really good. I'll go back to the other live stream so I can update you guys on what's happening live at the 2023 Arnold Classic Brazil. And right now, coming on stage, we have a huge bodybuilder. It is Josef. And what's his last name? He looks really good. It looks like he needs a little bit more in the legs, a little bit more of a hamstring. So just legs overall for Josef. But Vitor Both looking very, very good on stage here. Who's the favourite for the Open? Behrooz Tabani. He's the favourite. Whether he's going to look good enough to win it, we'll have to wait and see, because Vitor Both on stage right now, he's definitely going to be a contender. Another Milosachev athlete. But yeah, as you can see, he's not, he comes out into that back double bicep and looks pretty good, but I don't think that he's his best here. No worries at all, Rich B. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you guys. If you guys can give it a thumbs up, smash the like button on this video. And yeah, show some love. And if you do want all your comments featured as well and show some love to Desktop Bodybuilding, you can drop a super chat as well. But yeah, I've got to say that Josef looks pretty damn good as well. So shout out to him. I'm going to get a video up of him very, very soon. I'll go back to the video of Wellington for those who are just joining us. He looks pretty damn good as well. A very aesthetic physique on Wellington. You're talking about Josef? Shala. Never heard of him, X. Yeah, I'm not sure who you're talking about, but Emir Omeragic's actually on stage now, so I'll get a short clip of him as well, so I can upload those both at the same time. You guys can see Emir Omeragic. The first thing I noticed about Amir is it looks like just overall he needs a little bit more muscle, but he's got a nice aesthetic physique. He's 23 years of age. He looks absolutely insane. Like at that age, he looks really, really good. This is Vitor Both on stage right now for you guys watching. And thank you, Shala. Appreciate it. All right. Yeah, appreciate that. And we've got the IFBB Pro and Women's Physique Olympia, Natalia Coello. She says, needs more leg development. I love that Natalia literally jumps on all the live streams. She is awesome. Natalia, are you actually at the show right now? Let us know in the comments. That's awesome. Thanks for jumping in the live. It's much appreciated. If you are in America, let me know. And if you are just watching this, because then I can send you a link and you can jump in if you like. But yeah, let me know on that one. And I'll be just putting a few little clips up of these ones as well. Yeah, Emir Omeragic looks pretty damn good. I'm pretty impressed, to be honest. This is Wellington on stage, which you guys are seeing right now. So let me foot for you guys so you can see what's going down at the 2023 Arnold Classic in Brazil. But let's see what you guys have to say. Frederick from Canada. Goat Fitness, shout out. Thanks for getting him comments, my man. Much appreciated. I've got to get rid of these end screens. There you go. There's the first competitor out on stage right now that you can see on the screen right now. And I'll just get these ones up so you guys can see what's going down at the 2023. Oh, I sent it to the wrong thing. Yeah. Send it to my other computer. All right. So I'm going to upload a video of Emir Omeragic and a few other guys as well. Let's have a look. I'll try to get these videos up. Sorry for the screen right now, guys, but we do have coverage. We do have some video as well. Make sure that I'm not missing Behrooz coming out on stage. Is he on stage right now? No, he's not quite out yet. So this is Josef. Let me get the last name. It's Josef Kveton, because it starts with a K, but it's spelled Kveton. I mean, he looks pretty damn good. Condition, he definitely needs more back. He needs a bit more legs, but he's only 23 years of age. So this guy has, you know, plenty of room to improve. Yeah, my man. Man, let me know how to pronounce your name. I don't want to butcher it. Thanks for, I know you sent me a message on Instagram, but I looked at your name. It's like Jose Ba. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly in your last name. I've got no hope. But let me know what you think about Josef there on the screen. Pretty damn impressive physique. Cut out quads, but just needs a bit more overall. But look, that's pretty damn impressive. 27 years of age. Very, very good. Very, very impressed. Needs more upper, crazy chest and shoulders, arms, yeah, for sure. But let's, just seeing who's on screen now, make sure we're not missing Baroos, because I'll get that video for you guys ASAP. And let me bring up another video for you guys. So that's Josef, and the next one is Emir Omeragic, only 23 years of age, I believe. Crazy, crazy young, and crazy, crazy good. He needs more overall, that's for sure. And I think Natalia Coello was actually talking about him before, saying he needs more leg development. That's for sure. And he needs more overall, but yeah, definitely a bit more leg. But he's got a nice aesthetic physique. I mean, 23 years of age. Sometimes when guys pack on a lot of mass at 23 years old, it's not always proportioned correctly. They don't always have that sort of mature look to their physique. I mean, that back looks pretty damn mature to me. But overall, like that's a good back. He needs more overall, though, definitely, to be matching it with the top guys. So I think, like, after this contest, if he has a year between shows, I think that'd probably be wise for Amir, just to pack on to some real quality mass to his physique. But I'll show you guys the competitors list. I'll just pull it up for a second for you so you can see the names on there. So next we have Behrooz coming out right now. He's the last competitor. Let's have a look. I'll bring him up very soon for you guys, and you'll be able to see Behrooz Tabani. I'll bring up some of these other guys as well. I believe this is Vitor. Oh no, it's Wellington. And I'll bring up Vitor Both, who's obviously a contender in this one as well. Here we go. Yosiba. Ah, Yosiba. I never would have got that, dude. Let me know what nationality that is. Yeah, Joseph definitely has that Viking look for sure. Vitor Both almost has... No, he doesn't really have a Viking look. You need a big long beard or something. But he could pull it off. Could definitely pull it off. And, yeah, Baroos Tobani. He's on stage right now. I'm about to bring up a video of him. He looks like he could be the eventual winner to me. It looks like, yeah, no one is going to touch Behrooz Tabani. So, yeah. The red loop, yep, Behrooz is the favourite in my opinion. Yep, in my opinion, he's the favourite too. He looks absolutely sensational. Honestly, I'm watching Behrooz on the screen right now. He is inside out. He's got a lot more muscle. Wow. Wow. He is blowing this show away by so much. It's ridiculous. Like, ridiculous how good Behrooz Tabani is. Yeah, he's going to be tough to beat, that's for sure. I'll bring up Joseph again on the screen while I upload this one of Behrooz Tabani. Someone said, isn't Vitor with Patrick Tour last year, or has he always been Milos? I'm not sure, but he's with Milos this year, that's for sure. So that's all I know. Here we go. Natalia Coello confirming Daniel Noble. Yes, he was in terms of being with Patrick Tour. He started working with Milos recently. Thank you, Natalia. That's awesome. I'll get the video up of Behrooz Tabani because he is great. Let me just find it for you guys. This is Joseph on the screen right now, as you guys can see. Yeah, I was a little concerned about Behrooz in a couple of the ones, but just thinking he might not be quite as conditioned as previous shows. Dude is so dense. He's actually packed on a decent amount of muscle as well. So it's going to be very, very hard for anyone to beat this guy. Honestly. He looks ridiculous. Let me know your thoughts if you're watching it live as well. Alright. Yeah, Daniel, no, thank you, Natalia. So cool to have Natalia, like, you know, Mr Olympia in the comments. That's awesome. Alright. I'm just going to quickly edit out the end. Actually, no, that's uploaded. Cool. Alright, I'm going to bring up Behrooz Tabani right now for you guys so you can see how he looks. He's going to be the eventual winner. I hate to sort of spoil it early, but you guys going to want to see what Behrooz Tabani is looking like, and I'm about to upload it now. Yes, the red loop. Guys, like button. Yeah. Appreciate that, my man. Amir was on stage already. I can bring that update up shortly for you, Calvin. But this is Behrooz Tabani on stage at the 2023 Arnold Classic South America. And to me, it's just is he as hard as previous shows? If he's not, he's close enough. To me, that's close enough. I'm sorry for the noise, if there's some noise on that one. Raiden Sky, yeah, it's funny. People point out things that I say in these streams and on lives and all that. And he says, bro, I love the job you're doing, but if we were doing a drinking game every time you say as well, we'd have alcohol poisoning in literally 5 minutes. Yeah, I think I've got those habits of saying certain things over and over, but it's probably a thing just to fill in time. Looks like Sebum. Shala, shala. Are we talking about Behrooz? Dave Thomas, thank you so much for Xavier for putting this up live. No worries at all, my man. There is a live stream just straight of a show. There's no English commentary, so you can't find out anything on who's who and all that sort of stuff, who's doing the show. So I thought this might be handy for... well, I don't believe there is any English commentary anyway. And now they're doing a call out, but it's just the first lineup. So I'm not going to worry about getting that as yet. I'm just going to let you guys enjoy Behrooz Tabani because he looks crazy. Yeah, Behrooz is absolutely peeled from the back. Absolutely is. Kind of looks like Bumstead from the front. Yeah, I can see what you mean there, but I think it's It's another level of muscularity. But not just that, not just the muscularity. It's just that, yeah, I can see it a bit more, actually. I think he's just got such, because he's got the extra muscle, he's just got such an insane waist to, you know, just that, when he comes to that front double, it looks insane. Yeah, Natalia Coello, you're absolutely right. He has to be the favourite to win. He's just in crazy, crazy conditioning. That's for sure. It's lagging around a little bit, as you guys can see on the screen. Hopefully this is coming through in good enough quality for you guys. And now I'm going to show you some of these other guys quickly, and then we'll go back to Baroos while we're going through these initial call-outs, because these are not the... I don't believe they're doing the second call-out first. They might be doing it that way. I'm not sure, because obviously different judges. This was our first competitor out on stage. I'll just grab his name for you guys. His name is Suleiman Altercate. I actually heard this on another podcast. And someone who was on that same podcast said altercation. No, Natalia, I didn't send you a link, but I'll send you one right now. I'll send it to your Instagram. That would be cool to have you jump in here as well, for sure. It's funny, when I've got one of my things sharing, it's very hard to get the invite button. Let me find you on Instagram, Natalia. So we're going to have Miss Olympia in the comments. I'll bring up Behrooz while I get her in the chat, and I send the link to Natalia. Natalia, where are you? All right, cool. I've got Natalia sending a message now. Now, seeing another call out, it is just the initial groups, because you've got Behrooz second on the outside, and that's definitely just not going to happen. So, all right, just sent the link to Natalia, so hopefully we get her in the chat soon, because that would be cool to have Miss Physique Olympia specifically in the chat, on the stream, I guess, not so much in the chat. Yeah, Dave Thomas makes a good point. He says, let's hope Behrooz can get a visa to this year's, his visa this year to go to the Big O. How's Amir looking, Xavier? I'll bring up the video of Emir Omeragic, which I believe will be this one. Nope, that's Joseph. This will be Amir, surely. There we go. That's Emir Omeragic. So you guys can see there. Someone asked, is Brett Wilkin coming on with me? Oh, really? Here we go. Natalia says, trying to join. Okay. I can't see Natalia in the waiting room yet. I've got like a million tab things open, so it's hard to see at times. But I actually have to plug my headphones in because I've got it on mute right now, so I better do that before Natalia joins, because otherwise we'll be getting some feedback coming through. That's cool. Dude, I've already forgot how to pronounce your name because it doesn't... It's Yo something Ba. Sorry, dude. I'm terrible with names. We'll go back to Amir. I will say this. I think the quality or whatever with the stream or the lighting or something is making these guys look a little more off than they maybe are. But I'm not too sure. Just a little bit. I don't think it's too bad. Hopefully Natalia can join. I'll go back to my Instagram just to see if she's having any issues actually joining the chat. But I'll plug my headphones in. So if she does join the chat, I'm prepared. And you guys won't be getting feedback. If I can find the hole at the back of my computer. I don't electrocute myself. That would be ideal. But hopefully we're able to get Natalia in here. Hopefully I don't have to... Oh, here we go. Yosei Bar. Yosei. Sort of remember that. Yosei. Yeah, everyone's saying it's a pretty easy W for Behrooz. Yeah, I mean, it sort of looks that way with how good he's looking. If you are just joining the stream, right now this is Behrooz Tabani. I'll go back to the start of the video here because he's looking absolutely next level. Okay, they're doing first call out now. It's got Wellington, Vitor Both. Who else we got in here? So we've got Wellington, Vitor Both. Looks like we've got Alan in there as well. Alan's name is exactly, just so I don't get this one wrong. It's Alan Bonadiman. 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 Alan Bonadiman. Alan Bonadiman. We've got Behrooz in there. We've got Josef. We've got Amir. And well, yeah, it's a pretty good first call out, and it's sort of as expected. And someone else has joined as well. This was the last guy that came out on stage, but I don't believe he was actually last on the competitors list. So I'm not sure. I can't be exactly sure. What number is he? I'm trying to zoom in and see what number he's got on his posing trunks, but he looks actually really good. Really, really good. Oh, we've got Natalia Coello. Let me open this up and turn my computer off mute before I do that, because that's going to be ridiculous. All right.
Hey,
What's up, Natalia? How you doing?
good. How are you?
I'm very, very good. It's also always good to see you on chats and stuff, because you're always smiling, so that's cool. Always positive energy. But what are you thinking of the show so far? I saw you in the comments, as you always are, and like these videos, it seems like there's like a few common people that you get in the comments, and it's cool that one of them is literally always you.
Oh, right. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've been watching the show like since yesterday. They have the amateurs, like 600 like people competing. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
So this is actually the biggest Arnold, like the South American Arnolds in history. They never had so many athletes competing. So that is very, very interesting. And I'm just like watching here.
Yes. Oh,
And
nice. You have it set up good.
man, that is a great lineup.
Yeah, so we've got the first call out on stage right now, I believe, and we've got Alan, we've got Emir Omeragic, we've got Josef, we've got Vitor Both. Do you know who the guy in the green trunks is?
Green shirt. Well, on my screen, I don't see anybody on green trunks right now.
Oh, maybe I'm behind you. Let me see if I... Oh, I'm 2.5 minutes behind. Wow, okay. I don't know how that happened. I'll try... Yeah, I'm a little bit behind, but there's a guy in the first call out. He had green trunks. He's actually the last guy out on stage, but the last guy on the competitors list was Behrooz. So I don't know if he was a late entrant or what the deal is there. So I'll try to find that out and try to figure out what his number is. But yeah, what did you think of the first call out? Was there anyone? Obviously, Behrooz was probably a standout.
Yes, Baroos definitely is the favorite right there. I really like his physique. I think he's very complete. And out of everybody in this lineup, I think he's taking it.
Yeah.
He's Milos, just like Boff, Vitor Both. So they both work with Milos. I don't think Milos ever like brings anybody out of shape. So I didn't expect
Yeah,
less than that.
for
And
sure.
Emir is looking very good as well. I know he also works with Chris Aceto.
Yeah, and Chris Aceto's guys are notoriously come in condition as well. So I'll bring up Amir on the screen so everyone can see him while we're talking about him. But I'll just go back a little bit. I think it's lagging a tiny bit, my screen. Is it coming through okay quality, or is it a little bit rough?
It's a good quality right here. I don't know,
Oh, cool.
but it looks good.
Cool.
How I think they're doing the last callouts.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind on the stream. I'm just getting a clip for the guys watching, and I'll put that up. But I'll catch up with you and where you're at with the stream.
Yeah, now I'm curious to know who is the guy in green trunks.
Yeah, you'll see when he comes out. He looks really, really good. Like he's very much deserving to be in that first call out. Absolutely. They'll obviously bring him out again shortly and do another comparison. I hope anyway.
Let's see.
Get that off the screen.
Back.
How have you been anyway, Natalia? How's your training and everything, and how's it been being Miss Olympia, obviously, first year having that role?
Man, it's been a blessing. I've been traveling so much, going to all the events, NPC, FBB, workshops, having a blast,
Oh, that's cool. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes, I mean,
How's your reaction been at shows? Like how different has that been for you?
sorry, what's that?
How's your reaction been from like the fans at shows?
Oh my gosh, like it's crazy because they feel like they are part of the process, you know, like when I won, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel like we won, you know. So it's just
Hmm.
how much they cheer for me, how much they support me, and how much they are like truly happy, you know, for the victory. Oh, okay, so they
Yeah,
brought
that's so cool.
so the green trunk is number 14.
14. Let me look at the competitors list. Oh, there's no there's no numbers on the competitors
Oh,
list. Damn.
here,
Let me try to
Wellington.
figure it out.
I think it's Nescau.
So this comparison here, is that the that's not obviously the top three. Is that the battle for third or second? Probably second with Vitor Both in there, and you got Alan, and then you've got that guy in the green trunks.
Yes, I think that's the battle for second place. They didn't bring um Behrooz, but
Yeah,
pretty much decided.
yeah, I'd say so. It's a pity that Sergio Oliva Jr. wasn't able to make it to this show, you know, and be able to compete. So I would, you know, I think it would have been probably a tighter battle if Sergio was able to be in there because he's looking crazy at the moment.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, he was so excited to come, and everything was set, and you know, life happens. But I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
we'll sometime soon because we got to see him at the Olympia this year, man. I miss him.
yeah. And Sergio's great too because he's a personality, and it feels like being out in I was going to say Kuwait in Dubai has been overall good thing mentally for him. Obviously, he had to go through some stuff, which was incredibly unfortunate for Sergio, and I've reached out to him and told him a bit about it, and it's he's had a tough time. You know, it's like he didn't do anything wrong. It's been a rough situation.
So they put the guy on the green trunk is Biko. They call him Biko, and now they just switch him with Boff. So he's in the middle, and I do think
Oh,
he
yep.
here the cuts in his
You,
legs, the position, the sweeps. Hmm.
so do you think he's second?
I think. Oh my gosh, he came back. Oh, there you go. Yes, I think it's definitely between him and Boff and Vitor Both. But I think in these last comparisons, he looks like the second place.
Yeah, and I'll bring up the at least one of the comparisons. I'll bring up two of them actually. I'll bring up this one first, which is the first call out. Oops, I'll turn the audio off. So yeah, that's the first call out. We got Behrooz on the outside, so I think they're doing sort of. Did Behrooz get moved into the middle at all, or are they just like, we know what's going on?
So now we have the top four on stage. Are you watching live? Or are you?
Yep, I'm watching live now. Yep. Is that the top four, or is that the second to fifth? Because there's no Behrooz there, I don't think.
Yeah, probably second. You see his hamstrings hanging? That looks so good. I think like Vitor Both, he has more volume, he has more muscle
Yeah,
and more density. And Biko, the one in green, he has like the cuts and the separations deeper. So it's really like it's,
yeah. It depends what the judges are going for. Vitor Bothell and like the back double bicep. Him and Amir. Did you see that going back and forth with the elbows?
yes. Yeah. But look
So
at Vitor Both's back is looking crazily improved from last year to this year. And I believe that's his first his pro debut, right? Or he competed last.
Vitor Both. He actually did the Olympia last year. He did. He
Oh,
won.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, he won one of the shows in Brazil, and then yeah, he got to the Olympia. Which it was such a stacked Olympia. It's hard to remember how many. There's so many people in it. It's hard to sort of remember everyone that actually did it. I'll bring up, I believe it was the second to, what is it?
Let's see what it is. Oh my gosh, do you see how bad the tanning of Joseph is? It's
Yeah, it's run everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that sucks. It sucks when obviously you prep for a whole show and he's going to look back at those photos and go like, damn, you know.
But if you see both not the Americans, but the Brazilians are not melting. All the athletes competing internationally are melting. Maybe they use a tanning company, I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting, hey? Like,
because literally all of them that are not from Brazil are like melting so bad. Like,
yeah. Well, Emir Omeragic is actually staying out in Brazil, but he's actually melting as well. Like the tans is coming off.
I'm saying like the ones who live in Brazil, who are actually Brazilians, are not melting. I'm like, that's funny. I know Amir got there like months ago.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Amir looks really good when he hits that most muscular. He might be a little bit further forward on stage than Vitor Both there. I think they all sort of walk forward a little bit. Yeah, I'd say second is going to be the guy in the green trunks. I forgot his name. Or obviously Vitor Both. They're bringing out Wellington and Behrooz. So it seems like these guys are actually the top two.
That's the top two. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah.
So you see how Wellington, they call him Nescau in Brazil. That's his nickname.
Yep.
His pen is so spot on. Look at that.
Yeah, it looks amazing. He's got such nice muscle bellies.
Man, I think he can win this. Look at that.
Front lat spread looks really good.
His side chest, like his chest is so full. The proportions from his delts to chest, the ratio is really good. That's
yeah. Yeah, very aesthetic.
Yeah, from the back, I have Behrooz winning. But from the front and side chest.
Yeah, the back is pretty overwhelming for Baroos.
Right. He has so very.
He has just such developed glutes too. Like it's not just the back; it's really everything from the back shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his hamstrings are huge. Like
yeah.
But look at from the front.
I think I'm about 10 seconds behind you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, over front now.
Well, I can tell you something. I competed in Brazil for the first time last year, and it is so hot, like on stage and all that stuff. So maybe that's why they're melting so much. And it's not all the production because they do a good job. They have like a lot of fans, a lot of AC and all that stuff. But it's just like the doesn't help much.
Now get up on the screen for the fans watching this stream a little bit of that call out so people can see that final two call out because obviously that's what people are going to be pretty interested in seeing. But yeah, Behrooz his tan has run a lot now.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot. How much do you think that hurts a competitor?
It hurts a lot, honestly, because it just starts to fade. Like you cannot see the muscle separation anymore because he's so like look at that. You cannot even see his abs.
Yeah.
You can, like the tanning melting. So if they just cannot see separation and everything, how are you gonna judge? You can only judge what you see.
Yeah, exactly. I've actually experienced judging before where I was judging someone and half the time they opened their back, half the time it was completely closed off. And it was very close. And I was like, how do I judge this? I mean, do I judge it on because as a female division, I'm like, do I judge it when she opened her back or do I judge it when it was closed? I'm like, I guess I judge somewhere in between, so.
Yeah.
And she just opened it up enough times at the end, but I'm like, okay, well, I guess I've got to give the win because she's the superior competitor, but it became close.
I think like when you're trying to see the fibers and the striations, the feather, that's when the tanning, is most critical, because with the tanning running down, it hides everything. But like you
Yeah.
can still see and the shape and the structure of the physique, but the details are not as
Yeah.
visible. So,
I'll bring up this call out now, which is the final 2 call out. Just trying to see what's on stage right now. So we've got everyone on stage right now, actually.
yes. So is it Tamer? Yeah, Tamer is the head judge, right?
I feel like I've heard his voice, yeah. So people can see on the screen now, it's a final 2 battle, on my screen at least anyway, between Wellington and Behrooz. Dave Thomas says in the comments, he says, quick Milos, get a towel out for Behrooz. So what do you think, Natalia, in terms of these competitors? It seems like it's Behrooz and Wellington, top 2. How do you have it playing out? Because obviously Behrooz was completely melting. Like Milos will be messaging and probably calling Behrooz now from FIBO. I think Milos is at FIBO, saying, Behrooz, get a towel, please. Please have someone there. Because, the tan was bad, which sucks. So I assume these Brazilian competitors would have known about, what the actual conditions are like on stage if you've competed there before and it was really hot. So they've got sort of that inside knowledge and to know to not have maybe too much top coat or something like that on. But how much does that hurt Behrooz? And do you think that, like, how much is judged on that final call out, when it's the top 2 there?
Well, if it is very close, as I think it is, then that's gonna be an advantage for Nescau, which is Wellington, because, man, I don't know, I really like Behrooz, but at the same time, I think Nescau is so complete. You can see how like muscle bellies are so full and round, especially right now in the screen that you have.
Yeah.
His chest, delts, his quads, especially. Like honestly, I really like that look. I think from the back, as I said before, Behrooz looks better. He's wider. He has more muscle density in the upper back, and his glutes look so good. So I think like if we can like break it down, I would say his hamstrings and glutes and back, Behrooz for sure. From the front, I would have Wellington.
Yeah.
Side chest, his hamstrings are just like hanging like crazy, so it's hard. But I like the upper body of Wellington better.
Yeah, Wellington is just so aesthetic. I think like once Wellington adds a little bit more back and adds a little bit more in a few places. I mean, Berooz's actual back is not, when you see it in some of these poses, is not as crazy and out of proportion, like in terms of compared to Wellington's, like the actual back muscles. I think Wellington just needs a little bit more. He's got the density in there. He just needs a bit more width to his back. And Behrooz has, he's got crazy huge delts. His arms are pretty crazy and peaky, and then the glutes are such a standout in that back shot that almost just adds so much pop to his overall physique. And you don't normally see it on, like a male bodybuilder to that degree. I mean, it impacts his pose a fair bit, I think.
It does. But if up to like pick them apart, you can see how proportional and symmetrical Wellington is.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Win like all the poses is very rare to see everybody, like one athlete winning all the poses. So he definitely has some improvements to make, but I really, really love his physique.
Yeah, same. And it's funny, like I've heard Ian Valley talk about it before as well, and just the overall skin texture and the way the texture and the way the skin actually overlays the muscle. He talks about how sort of important that is. And, if that's what Wellington has, like he's got that, like that side tricep is such an aesthetic pose. Like I think it looks so good, and it depends how much you weigh aesthetics, muscle roundness and things like that. I mean, Behrooz, you look at the overall size, Behrooz, and it's hard to know what it looks like in person. Do you think in person Behrooz would be more overwhelming because he'd have more of that shock factor in terms of size, and maybe just Wellington just is more aesthetic overall, because I always favor the aesthetic guys when it comes to video and photos, but sometimes being there, sometimes you see it differently, but it's hard to tell because there's guys like William Bonac that when I saw him in person against Sean Roden out here in Australia, I don't know what year it was, but it was when he just sort of broke onto the scene. And I was like, you've got to see William in person to actually truly appreciate what his physique looks like. So it's hard to know who's like that. But have you seen either of these guys compete in person?
I have seen Wellington before, but from the last time that I saw him to now, looks like a completely different person.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Now, on the ab and thigh.
Oh, yeah. Look at his legs.
Yeah, they look great there. I think Wellington is winning that ab and thigh shot for sure. For sure.
His muscle is very healthy. You know what I mean? Like
exactly, yeah.
The muscle bellies are just like full and dry and everything at the same time. So.
Yeah, I always like seeing guys that have that sort of look, and I think it definitely should be favoured in terms of the judging. And when you look at his legs as well, he's dry. Like, you can't see it properly on this stream, but he is very, very dry without being like, you know, how some guys get dry and then they lose that fullness in the muscle.
I agree.
Now, someone's put a comment up on here. I don't know if you can see it. It's in Portuguese, I believe, so I have no idea what it says.
Yes, Hugo is saying that last year Boff was working with Eduardo Correia and Pacholak. So it was not Patrick Tour. I saw that. I don't know if it was Patrick. Man. Ok, thank you, Igor. Obrigada, Igor. Já corrigi aqui. But I know he started working with Milos recently. There are a lot of Brazilians working with Milos now. Like,
yeah, it's like it just spreads through the country, you know.
Yeah, but Milos knows his stuff, you know, and I love how much attention he gives to his athletes.
Oh, yeah, Milos is definitely hands-on, that's for sure, with his athletes. And I love that as well, because I've heard stories of, you know, Milos and his sort of work ethic as well, like he stayed with people out here in Australia, and they've said, like, that dude's just up through the night, just working, sending client emails, you know, half the night. You know, he's a hard worker and he cares that much about his athletes. And you can tell in podcasts as well how passionate Milos is about, you know, competitions and all that sort of stuff and his athletes, and he loves it. I mean, he's on a thing right now wanting to bring back aesthetics and posing to the sport because that's what he believes in, that's what he loves. So anyone that's passionate about bodybuilding, instantly I like him, and that's why I like you, Natalia. That's why you're awesome, because you are passionate about the industry and growing it and all that sort of stuff. And what's your thoughts on, I suppose, all of that as well, in terms of you know, what Milos sort of stands for in terms of bringing back the judging to the posing routines and all that sort of stuff, because you're obviously a brilliant poser yourself.
Oh, I love it. I think he's 100% right. But every time that I listen to his podcast, he's always in DJ's podcast as well, the Menace podcast, and I'm always watching them. And I like how he can bring like a physique to the stage that is like full, dry, but it's still the aesthetic look that we are looking for. So people are like, well, you got to choose between aesthetics and size and volume. But Milos kind of like combines everything together. So I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he's so like perfectionist and all that stuff with his athletes. I have some friends in Brazil who are being coached by him, and he sends videos like to show exactly what he's expecting from them, like workout videos, showing them, oh, I want you to target this muscle, and then he shows on himself, this is the muscle that I want you to train. That's how I want you to do it. So it shows that, you know, he actually cares and he's actually hands-on all the time.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I love that. And we've just got a few questions as well. So Jay Jarstar says, is Wellington right or left? Wellington is on the left, for those who are wondering, who aren't familiar with these guys' faces. So Wellington on the left, Behrooz on the right. Behrooz is the one that's sweating a huge amount in that one. I'll bring up some other video as well so people can see too. This is I suppose the battle between Vitor. Turn that audio off. The battle between Vitor in the middle. You got Alan. Oh no, you got Joseph. I believe it is on the right, or is that Alan? I think that's Alan actually. And then on the left, what's the guy's name on the left again?
Biko.
Okay, I've got to remember that because I'll 100% forget. I'll see if he's on the competitors list, so at least I know. I don't think he is.
He
Yeah.
is Biko is his nickname. That's how we call him in Brazil.
Oh, okay. What's his real name? Do you know?
Cleber Reis, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Cleber Reis de Silva. It says on the competitors list.
I know we have Brazilians watching, so if I'm wrong, guys, please correct me.
Yeah.
Nick's name, full name. But it's the same thing with Wellington. We call him Nescau. So in Brazil, we have nicknames to everybody. So it's very hard
Okay.
looking at the competitors list. You never know who's who because we don't call them.
Oh, that's crazy. I had no idea. What's your nickname in Brazil?
That's a good question. I think everybody knows me as Natalia, so I'm good there.
Okay.
No?
That's funny. But who do you think wins out of this call out between these three? You got obviously Vitor, Alan, and Biko, which I'll roll with that. Sorry, I'll bring it up on the screen. So out of these guys, who do you have in that? I suppose it would be the third place position.
Man, look at how narrow Biko's waist is.
Yeah, he's another guy I'm very impressed with. Like you said, like the healthy looking muscle, the way the muscle lays, the way the skin lays over the muscle. I mean, I like the look where, you got the clear difference between the traps, the shoulders, and it's like everything bubbles out in the right sort of way, not in a way where it looks suspect. And you compare that, Vitor's still, phenomenal and he's still got that roundness there. But Alan, you can see he's a little bit more thin through those areas. And he just looks, like the back's very well developed. I think that he wins that rear lat spread, in my opinion. And I think he's even got the disadvantage being on the left side of the stage because I think the camera's slightly to the other side as well. And that makes a bigger difference than I think people give it credit for, because I saw other video and I think I've actually got it here. I'll actually bring this up on the stage, up on the screen quickly. And you can see there another comparison of the back double bicep. And when you see it from that angle, and even though Vitor's in the better lighting, I think, sorry, what's his name again in the green trunks?
Biko.
Biko. Yeah, so I think he looks more impressive on the back double as well, marginally, just because of the aesthetics. I think, the waist is so small. What do you think about the back shots, Vitor versus Biko?
So if they go with mass, definitely Vitor is going to take it. But as you said, the proportions and everything else in Biko just flow back. But I don't know. I like Boff. Like Vitor Both last year, he placed second to Rafael Brandão at the Arnold. So it was a show, and he was almost the winner last year. So he came back this year expecting to get a better placement. And as you said, at the Olympia, so he also has his on his belt. He didn't place as he expected, but he was at the Olympia, so that's a big.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell on these angles exactly who's the best. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's kind of hard to see, exactly who's bigger by how much and all that. I do prefer the look of Biko, but I can see why Vitor Both would get the nod and probably will. He probably will. He's got a lot of muscle, but I even think that I didn't get the full call out of that, but the rear lat spread looks really good here on Biko. I'm very impressed with that rear lat spread.
I think, yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward more to the battle for second, obviously. Actually, no, the battle for first is interesting because you got Behrooz and Wellington. We'll go back to that quickly because I don't know if we went through every single pose or not. I think I pretty much got through most of them. We'll go to the most muscular.
And I wish I was there in person because it's always different when you watch, from close.
Yeah.
But it's still like these two.
That most muscular as well on Wellington, I reckon that looks awesome. I think that's so good.
Oh yeah, he's winning this pose for sure.
Yeah, so if you got Wellington winning the most muscular, at least by the last call out, we'll say that because this is from the last call out. If you got him winning the most muscular, if you have him winning the ab and thigh, I mean, you've made an argument for him from the front. I don't have those comparisons here, unfortunately. I can go back and actually get them if I go back far enough, but I think I'm a decent way into this stream now. I'll just try to backspace a bit. I'll take some screenshots and put them up on the screen.
Can you imagine like another year or two if Wellington adds more hamstrings and continue working on his back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's gonna be good. I'm really impressed with him. He's Yeah, he's going to be competitive, that's for sure. It's going to be a force if he just continues to just, improve. And I think he probably will. Do you know how old he is by chance?
Wellington, I don't know how old he is. I mean, he looks very young though.
Yeah, he looks fresh, that's for sure. So I'll put up some I'll upload a couple screens of the front double bicep and the front lat spread. For me, I think that the front double bicep, even though Wellington is so aesthetic, I think it just shows up Berouz's V taper, and I'll put it up on the screen so people can see as well. I think that even though Wellington is so aesthetic, I just think that potentially that's the spot where he could get sort of exposed a little bit and from the back. So I think the Berouz maybe wins those shots by too much, where it just sort of would give Behrooz the nod. But it's funny because Mikel Krizo, it sort of was the same story for him last year when he competed, because his tan went terrible. He was gassed on stage, and I asked the question after my stream. I was like, is Mikel Krizo actually losing this show based on his tan? Because at the end of prejudging, he looked, didn't look good, and he was gassed, letting his stomach go and whatnot. But he still had enough to win because he's up against probably guys that were a decent way below him. Do you think that could be the case here, where Wellington, and do you think he's got a chance of winning the show?
I think he has a chance of winning. Um, Here's the thing: the rules from the back, he stands out the most, but they're not only judging the back. It's the complete package. So from the front, I still think that Wellington is a little ahead of, just in terms of aesthetics and muscle bellies. The look that he has is very, very pleasant. But at the same time, like, if you compare the proportions and the symmetry of the rules, you cannot really find many flaws. So it's hard to say if you're not there in person, because even the conditioning and all that stuff, there are things that we can only see when we're there. So the judges have this close look, and they can definitely see what we cannot see. So for example, in this
Yeah.
pose, you see how much wider Behrooz is. Like, look at his lats. They come out much more than Wellington. So
Yeah,
that's why.
and even though Wellington has a small waist, it's the hip structure is actually somewhat similar, and Bruises might even be smaller. And then how much the lats come out, um, that's where I think Wellington is hurt a little bit on this pose.
But you know what? It could also be a matter of posing, because imagine if he drops his traps and his shoulders a little bit, it
Absolutely.
look a little wider.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of guys do, and if he's a younger competitor, a lot of guys do that when they pull their shoulders up. Even women as well, but especially I notice in men's bodybuilding more, where they pull those shoulders up and they're trying to flex their biceps harder, but it actually just sort of elongates their torso and makes their V tape look less than it actually is.
Do you know when Behrooz got there? Because I know he was having issues with the visa, and
Oh,
people were
was he
like,
really?
yeah. They were even talking about maybe he wouldn't be able to make it. So until last year, no, last week, I was listening a lot of people saying that they didn't know if he would be able to get to Brazil.
Well, I
And
know he was there 48 hours, about 48 hours out, I'm pretty sure. But I was, yeah, because he actually did the press conference and took his shirt off and posed there. And that was, I believe that was a little under 48 hours out, but it was, yeah, 2 days prior to the show. So he's there at least 2 days before. But before that, I'm not 100% sure. It might have only been 2 or 3 days before he got there. Who knows? The front lat spread as well. I think you're right about the posing, Natalia, because look at the front lat spread. Like it looks like the lat to waist ratio on Wellington here is dramatically different, and his lats are popping like crazy. So do you think that is a posing issue?
he looks like, because he has the muscle, I can see it. Of course, he could have more development, but I think if he just drops a little bit, his straps, you're gonna be able to see a wider look.
Does Wellington win this pose?
Does he what?
Does he win this pose, the front lat spread?
Yes, in my opinion, yes.
Yeah. So I would have Berouz on the front double. I'd have Wellington on the front lat spread. The side shots. I mean, you look at the side tricep. I'm going to bring it up again. So we've got 1-1 basically in terms of if you're just judging solely the poses. I'll bring this up so people can see. Side chest. Whoops, I'll go back to that. The side chest there. I mean, I would say Behrooz on the hamstring hang and the crazy conditioning through glutes and just overall size on the upper body. Who would you have in the side chest?
I have Behrooz. Yeah, his
Yeah.
hamstring.
So we got.
Within
Sorry, you go.
I have Behrooz winning this shot.
Yeah, same. So we've got 2-1 to Behrooz. And then we'll go to the back double bicep. I would have Behrooz on the back double. Would you also have him on that?
Yes.
Yeah, so we've got 3-1 if we're going by that to Behrooz. On the rear lat, I think I'd have Behrooz as well, but we'll go to it. I think the rear lat's a little closer. What do you think on that one?
Here's the thing. His standing is messing up with the way he looks right there. But if you don't take that in consideration, I think Behrooz take this pose as well.
Yeah,
But
I think you have to take it into a small consideration, but it's it does distract from the look.
you know why? Because look at his lower back. We know that this is very deep, dry, and he looks good there. But because of the tanning, we cannot see the striations and the depth of the muscles, like the insertions.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would still say Behrooz, but yeah, I would have that one much closer because I think the tan really affects that shot in particular. Like I said, in the lower back, it looks bad. So, all right, let's go to the next pose. So we'd have 4-1 to Behrooz, but I think that Wellington gets a few back here. So side tricep, I think it's much closer than these last couple of shots. Can't wait till I fully get into it. What do we think about that one, Natalia? Because Behrooz, it's an impressive shot for him too, but it's one of Wellington's more aesthetic impressive shots.
I agree. I think Wellington is more aesthetic. Behrooz hamstrings look amazing here. It's like hanging like crazily. However, it's just like you said about Michael Criso. It's not about judging just one body part. You have to look at the whole package. So his hamstrings and legs here look better, but I think the flow of Wellington in this pose looks better. The proportion, the symmetry, the triceps, delts. So I would go with Wellington here.
Yeah, yeah, this one's tough to call. I much prefer the personal opinion is definitely Wellington on that pose, but I think it's I don't know, like it's so hard when you're not actually there. I think if you were there in person, it might be a bit more definitive one way or the other. And I'll get to your guys' comments as well. People are commenting too, but yeah, I don't know. That one's close. we'll say Wellington wins that one. So we'd have it. What is it? 4-2 to Behrooz, and then we've got the ab and thigh. I think we both agreed that. Wait till I get into it a bit better. There we go. We both agreed that's Wellington's pose, at least on this last call out. So we'd have it 4-3, and then we had the most muscular going to Wellington. So that would make it a 4-4 battle in terms of pose by pose, which makes it much more exciting. So it seems like, through most of the first poses or first lot of poses, Behrooz is taking it. But as they go through it more and more, it seems like that hands on hips by Wellington is ridiculous. That is such an aesthetic shot, but it also he just looks so much more muscular on it too.
He does. You know what I noticed? The more that Wellington poses, the better he looks. You see, like he's just getting a pump. The muscle starts looking more striated. So it is actually better for him to pose for longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get to a couple of comments, Natalia, if you don't mind, and then I'll wrap up the stream. A lot of people love it that you're actually on the stream as well. You got this guy here. Let's go through a few more. Johnny F says, can you explain the rear back on Behrooz? What's going on with that? So I think we sort of talked about that a little bit. We talked more on the rear lat spread. So I'll go back to that quickly if we can find it. So we sort of talked about it before, but it's on that rear double bicep, like the actual back on Behrooz is, I think it's good and it's proportionate enough, but I think that if he could add a little bit more in his back, From the front, his back is phenomenal. His lats really flare out because he's got the small waist. But where do you think that Behrooz can actually improve this pose, and what do you think of it?
Honestly, I think this pose looks very good. I don't see many
Mm,
flaws. He's taking this pose. Um, Nescau, Wellington's hamstring looks better, but just the hamstrings. So I think
yeah,
the overall look on him on Behrooz is like another level. You can see all the details, all the separation between rear delts, upper traps, back, lower back, as I said. I can tell that he has the depth and the strike and everything that is supposed to be there, but because of the tanning on the live stream, we cannot see it. So maybe
yeah.
they can see it in person. But I think that's what I don't know who asked this question, but I think that's what he was asking, like what's going on there, because you can see a lot of like tanning melting, and that's
Yeah.
just sweating. So when you sweat, sometimes the tanning starts to drip down, and that's what he's seeing.
A lot of people asking about Amir here as well, and I'll bring him up on the screen while we discuss him. Um, so, what did you think of Amir, Natalia, and where do you think he sort of finishes in this? Because it seems like Amir's sort of on the outside looking in a little bit. I don't know what place he's actually going to end up at, but it seems, I'll bring it up on screen again. Um, it seems like, yeah, he's going to be outside of that. I don't know. I don't know where he's actually placing. I think he might be outside the top five at this point. Do you think that he just needs more muscle overall? He's only obviously 23 or 24 years of age.
Man, he's so, and that makes me like so excited about this sport because I see these guys coming up and 22, 23 years old as a bodybuilder, the Arnold, like this is crazy. I think he looks great. I think it's just a matter of time and continue doing what he and Chris Asiro are doing because it's working. If you look from last show to now, he already added some size, and it's just a matter of who is standing next to, and these guys look bigger. So I don't know where he's gonna end, but before I saw the prejudging, he was in my top three. I was expecting Behrooz, Boff, and him to be like the best, like the best placings. But of
Yeah,
course,
I think I predicted Baroos first, Vitor second, and then I think I put Amir in third. Yeah, so I think I was sort of the same opinion with Amir. But there's a lot of guys that have sort of come out of blue a little bit, like Biko. I think I got that right.
yeah,
He looks sensational. I wish I had a separate video of him. But yeah, looks really really good. Um,
and Nescau,
what's that?
Biko, Wellington, and Biko, they both
Yeah.
look.
Oh yeah. I didn't. I think I predicted Wellington. Actually, I think I predicted him fourth, and I predict Joseph fifth. But I completely left Biko out of my predictions because I had no idea who he actually was going into it. But he's definitely shocked a lot of people. So Wellington and Biko, I think they've definitely raised their stock doing all this. Um, let's go to another question. Uh, People asking, where is it? Sorry, my comments just all updated. Uh, a lot of people were still saying Behrooz wins. That's the opinion of a lot of people watching this. I think Behrooz will win, in my opinion, but I just think that it's maybe a lot closer than I first thought. Because when I was watching it, I said, "Oh, Behrooz is the winner, easy." But when you put them side by side, you go, "Oh, the size difference isn't as crazy as I thought." You know?
It's like different physiques, Like Behrooz has more size, as I said. Um, Wellington has more aesthetic, but I still think, yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, but then some people, here's one from Ronnie F. He says, "Yeah, not sure why Baroos is sweating so much when he's peeled, peeled to FK, which means FUCK." Um, yeah, what do you think that is? Do you think that he maybe was just holding a little bit of water and for that reason he's sweating, or it's just sort of a natural thing that might happen even if you are reasonably dry in a show, you can still have a bit of that water, subcutaneous water, where it will come out?
Honestly, I don't even think it's about water. Sometimes just like by being nervous or there are so many variables that can make you sweat. Like I usually don't sweat at all. I'm always cold. It doesn't matter how hot it is backstage, how long I've been posing. I don't get hot. I don't sweat. And there are some girls that are like sweating a lot, so it's more like a physiological factor. And sometimes, he used a different product, like tanning product, or he used too much, or I don't know. It is hard to say without knowing for sure. So
I will say one thing, and I never like to really point this out too much on athletes, but a few people have mentioned in the comments, and it's a bit, you know, to not mention it is something. But Behrooz there, I don't know if you can see Natalia, he does have, his delts look a little bit funny, and if you don't want to speak on it, that's fine. But there's been a few people mentioning it in the comments, and I don't know if that potentially could play a factor because when judges see certain things, I mean, the judges actually I think openly, well, Steve Weinberg actually openly mentioned it about Hardy's shoulder. He mentioned something about that on Olympia TV and sort of alluded to, you know, sorting that out. And you know, if he does, then he's a factor in the Olympia. And we saw obviously that was only a few weeks prior to the Olympia. He came in, you know, and that was one thing that they said, you know, he did sort of fix it to a certain extent, and that was potentially one of the reasons he was able to win the Olympia. And obviously the fact that he added muscle to his physique as well, but to me, the shoulders look a little bit funny.
well, if the judges see that and think it's a little funny, they're definitely gonna penalize him, just like they did with Hardy. And Tarek actually did a podcast recently for Prime Time Muscle, talking exactly about that. Like if they see something, they have to mark them down. So I don't know. I don't see that here, but as you said, if the judges who are very close to them can see it, he's going to be penalized for sure because that's not normal
Yeah,
from athletes.
I wonder. I'm actually now I've seen that and the fact that people were mentioning it in the comments. Obviously, it's enough. I mean, everyone online is going to hyperanalyze and look into things like this. But if that's a factor, you know, if that's something that they're making a point of, I suppose, penalising to a certain extent, then perhaps that could be an issue for Behrooz here. I hope it's not for his sake. And when he actually does hit the pose, so it was just prior to him hitting the pose, I think it looked a little bit worse. But when he fully goes into it, I don't really notice it personally. And I didn't notice it myself. So I was only noticed it due to people pointing it out. So I don't know if that will be a factor, guys. Let me know if you think it will in the comments that hasn't mentioned it. Um, just going through. Yeah, some people saying Bruise's shoulders are funny. Then not many people saying too much else. Um,
They,
yeah, even a few people saying it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, Natalia. I can't wait to see what actually happens in this show at finals. I'm actually a lot more excited talking about it now that I've chatted to you and got more perspective because I might have actually been saying, oh, Bruce has got this hands down, you know. But now the fact that you've actually given me a different perspective, I definitely see the quality in Wellington's physique. It's pretty outstanding. I mean, I would have seen it anyway to a certain extent, but the fact that you're able to analyze it and tell me like he's got this and he's got this, I'm like, you're right, he does. Maybe he's just posing a little bit wrong on the front double, which I was like, oh, that's a hands down to Behrooz. But if he's able to fix that for finals, hopefully someone gets in his ear and says, pull those shoulders down and push the elbows out to the side a bit.
right. And here's the thing: like we're gonna have the confirmation round, and things can change. We never know if the judges think it's close. It's gonna be decided tonight, and even if they don't think it's close, sometimes one comes back better. I'm pretty sure Milos is gonna be calling the rules and telling him to take care of the tanning, do something about it, because this is something that can hurt him. And I hate that about like competing because sometimes you cannot predict what's going to happen and you can only control what you can control. It's not your fault if the place is too hot or too cold. It's some external variables that we have to deal with, and it's part of life. We have to learn, we have to know how to kind of like correct things when this happens, because things are going to happen no matter what.
Mm. And it's quite interesting what you said earlier, Natalia. I forgot to mention before when you said it about you always being cold backstage, and then you see some girls and some guys sweat a ton, and like you said, it's a variable thing. Some people just sweat more than other people. I'm definitely someone who, when I do get too hot, I definitely sweat. And when I used to actually do interviews prior to them, when I used to get a bit nervous, it doesn't really happen anymore. But even just doing my lives initially, it's like I would just naturally notice I would just sometimes just when I finish my live, I'm completely sweaty under my top, and it's just because you get that little bit of nervous energy and you just start pouring sweat. So that's something that can happen. But obviously in bodybuilding, people, some guys use thyroid stuff. Some guys are on, probably some guys are on huge amounts of tests. It obviously heats up the body a huge amount. So there's huge variables in terms of what people are doing, how people are genetically, and yeah, if someone's holding extra fluid under the skin, then they're gonna sweat more naturally as well if they are sweaters.
Right. So individual, somebody's gonna respond one way. And even the same person, sometimes you're gonna respond one way in the show, next show you're completely different. The human body is like an amazing machine. You can never know and guess what's gonna happen. So the more you know about your body, the better it's gonna be, because you're gonna be able to kind of fix these little things that go along the way. But I don't.
Yeah.
Just a matter of, the training is not a big deal. If he can fix that for tonight, he can definitely show his best physique and the lines and everything that I know he has. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to thank you, Natalia, for coming on this live stream. I'm going to be back on for the finals too, so feel free to jump in, and if you want to, give your opinion and jump on, because I think people love having you in the stream and a lot of positive comments towards having you on here. So it's been awesome, Natalia. Do you want to give anyone a shout out? Do you want to give your sponsors a shout out? Anything like that before we wrap it up?
Honestly, I just want to thank you, of course, for bringing me on, everybody who's watching and supporting bodybuilding, because that's what we need. We need all the fans watching. Look what the Muscle Contestant International is doing. They're providing the live stream for free for everybody.
That's what I love. It's amazing.
Yes, right? So big shout out to them, to their production, to the Arnold South America production, Tamer, Tarek, everybody who is part of it, because they are engaging all the fans. They're not making any money to put a live stream available to us. They're just making the sport grow, so that's amazing. And of course, I'm super excited for finals. This is going to be an exciting show. I think this is the most exciting lineup at the Arnold South America in a long time. So we will see what's going to happen tonight, what they're going to bring back, the changes they're going to make, and the confirmation round. Guys, stay tuned. I think they start at 7:30, right? 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, I saw 7, but yeah, I'm guessing it will probably start a little bit after that, so probably 7:30. But yeah, I did see 7, so I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, just everyone tune into that as well. It's going to be awesome. Obviously, it's on the Muscle Contest YouTube channel, and also I'll be doing the live stream in English. So yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Natalia, for doing this. It's been awesome. People loved having you on, and shout out to everyone who got in the comments as well. And Dave Thomas says, can we all come on, Xavier? I think my computer would crash. All 255 or so of you guys right now. But thank you so much, Natalia. I'm going to wrap up. I'll play the outro and we'll be out. But thank you so much once again. I'm Xavier Wills. Natalia Coello, thank you so much for coming on. We'll be back I'll be back at least anyway for finals. And for Xavier Wills, Natalia Coello, Desktop Bodybuilding, we are out.